Hi, I want to update everybody on the adjustments that we have to make for the prototype. This includes the grip, the hang plate, and the brackets. There's going to be changes at least on the hang plate and the grips, and I want to review those in a video because I think that would more clearly communicate what needs to be done rather than just writing it down in an email. So here we go.
The first issue is that the brackets are too loose. We need them to fit tighter into the hang flap. So this will be tightening up the hang flap and getting tighter tolerances. I would say probably 0.1 millimeter would be a good standard to shoot for as far as tolerances go. And what happens is that the brackets, and all of them, I'm talking about the shelf bracket, the wall bracket, and the door bracket, they rattle in the hang flap, and that makes it sound and look and feel very cheap. And we want it solid. We don't want any rattling, and you'll hear the rattling and hear the clicking that we don't want. We want it completely quiet. And so just take a listen to the rattling, and when we redo the prototypes, we're going to make it tight so that we don't have that rattle any longer. Next, the shelf bracket is too narrow. It doesn't fit 20 millimeter shelves, which is a common thickness in the United States for shelf sizes. 16 millimeters is also a common thickness, and so we need to make the shelves so they fit both 16 and all the way through to 20 millimeter shelves. Next, the hang plate needs to be flush with the edge of the shelf bracket. Right now there's a lip where if you fully press in the shelf bracket, the hang plate will extend out about 1/2 inch. And we don't want that because we want the customer to be able to press the shelf bracket fully in, and the hang plate will go immediately underneath it, and then the customer would be able to close a door. If it was like a pantry door, or in this case this is a broom closet, the door would be able to be closed in that case. Next, we need to make the shelf plate longer. That's so that we can extend the metal strip beyond the shelf, so that when customers elect to hang mops and brooms outside of the shelf rather than inside of it, they have the clearance in order to do that. At this point, when they elect to hang the metal strip outside of the shelf, the top of the shelf plate, and you can see the arrow up here, the top of the shelf plate does not have enough length in order to have a firm grip on the shelf. Next, we need to decide how to attach the metal strip to the hang flap. The thermal staking broke off when I tried to pull off a broom or mop. It worked when there was a constant load, when there was just 10 pounds of brooms and mops on the metal strip, but it broke off when I tugged on one of the grips and pulled the broom or mop off of the hang flap. The metal strip came off as well. So actually what happened is that I had the load, like about 10 pounds of mops and brooms, and then a tug on one of the mops and brooms caused those thermal stakes to break off. So I don't know if we had poor quality thermal staking, or if it's just too much of a load for thermal staking and we need to go to screws or rivets. So we need to decide that. Next, the logo needs to be larger. It should fill up that entire lower flap. Next, the inner diameter of the grip is too wide in the middle. Even larger poles like the wooden broom pole doesn't fit. It's too loose. It will never grip enough to hold up the pole onto the hang flap. And especially narrower poles like the aluminum pole, that is way too loose. So I think our standard should be that when we're 30 millimeters from the top of the grip, that's where it should shrink to 22 millimeters. And I think that would be a good standard. Plus, I want to lengthen the grip another 15 millimeters. The bottom part of the grip, the bottom diameter, I think that's good enough. I don't think we want to make that smaller because it does fit over the larger handled brooms and mops, as you can see here. Next, I would like to see some scutes or some additional inside liner on the grip in order to make it slide in easily but slide out hard. I'm just selecting these V-shaped scutes, but perhaps some designer will have a better idea in order to do that. Even the original model was a little too loose. Occasionally a broom or mop would come out of the grip and just the grip would remain stuck on the plate. So I want to buy a little insurance and have a bit of interior redesign to make it easy to slide in but tough to slide out, just to really lock in the grip to the pole. To summarize what we need to do with the grip as far as design goes is that we need to make the inner diameter of the grip 22 millimeters at the 30 millimeter mark from the top. That's the top of the inside of the grip, so that it will handle narrower poles. And we need to make scutes or some sort of structure that will allow the grip to slide in easily but slide out hard. I want to make the grip also 15 millimeters longer. I think that will help as far as securing the poles to the grip as well. And just as a reminder, the plastic needs to be as provided in the specifications. I'm pretty sure that the manufacturers realize that, and the grip that we have is very flexible, but that's probably because that's the type of plastic you get with the printing process, the 3D printing process. Also, the reality is that we're never going to know for sure if the grip's going to hold to the pole without testing the design and testing the plastic that we intend to use. So we need to come up with a way that we can cheaply test on the plastic that we're going to use, the design that we're going to use, to see if it holds the brooms and the mops. And I would like something a lot cheaper than having to make a tool and then make another tool if it doesn't work. So I'm talking mostly to the manufacturers. How can we build prototypes with the design that we design and the plastic that we want to have, the actual plastic that we would use in the tooling?